So, welcome to my Super Bowl commercial. I spent a great deal of money buying a spot before the game, during the game, and after the game. And so I really, really appreciate you tuning in. I'm back in the incubator studio study, whatever this place is. I'm trying to work very hard at working on the space so I can get back to some serious work. But it is the Super Bowl, so kudos to the bread and circus later today. Kansas City Chiefs, Native Americans, respectable choice of a name, particularly since it's in Kansas. And then we have the San Francisco 49ers. So we have Native Americans versus gold rushers. I think I'm going with the Native Americans. Nothing against gold rushing, because gold is a theme in my work, and I appreciate that. But I don't really want a bunch of people rushing toward gold because of the riches of it, the money that comes with it. It is a beautiful, I guess it's a mineral. It's a beautiful mineral in and of itself, very valuable because it works in many different ways. So I'm going with the Native Americans. I wish I knew specifically which tribe, not just chiefs. A whole team of chiefs doesn't really make sense to me, but I'm going with him anyway. And that Mahomes fellow, or Mahomes, I'm not really sure what that is either. I mean, he's following the Peyton Manning model. I think he's a little overexposed in the commercial world. I wish they'd cut back on that a little bit. But he's young, so what are you going to do? And incorporating his coach, I like that as well. But I would much rather watch, I think, a delectable series, perhaps, on Netflix, like True Detective or True Detectives. Not sure what that is, but plug for Jodie Foster there and that series. A lot of my friends watch that show. So I'm just going to do a little show and tell. I've spent a fortune on this spot. As you can tell, it's probably going to push 5 minutes just to share some things. So this, is one of my circular sort of discs that I often put on a turntable and play for myself and for others. You may have seen this before, whether you think you have or not. It looks like I got it wrinkled, which, see, I'm trying to avoid that in the future, trying to keep things a little more tidy. This is, people often want to see my grenade. This is my grenade. It's a real functional grenade, could be. See, here's the little snap back. I think I lost the pin, but it's not loaded, although it was at one time, but I sort of deloaded it. But this is a grenade. This is called a crowler. Look at this. This is a Big Trouble crowler, which contained at one point in time one of my favorite beers from Big Trouble called the Bob, which is a blood orange blonde, right? So, oh man, Big Trouble, near and dear to my heart. You can get one of these. Just stop by there sometime. I think it's at 213 West Main or 238. Not really sure, but it's right up there across from the Crystal. Big Trouble. Also now, because of me, part of the Super Bowl program. Just stirred them in, just like that. You should read some Rilke. You should read Cannery Row if you haven't. It's an old book, but it's so cool. Postmodernism. I love this book. The Narrow Road to Oku. Everyone should read some Basho poetry. Simple, concise, yet deep, 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 deep. I am reading a couple things for the next Gallatin Book Readers Collective. One is the, I think it's called Skywriting by John Lennon. And I'm also considering reading, finally, the complete Cosmocomics, right, by Italo Calvino, right? A classic of postmodern prose, quite transcendent. Oh, let's see. But lately I've sort of been absorbed with this little book from the Department of Defense, right? The Office of Civil Defense, Personal and Family Survival. Is a student manual, which I received, I think, maybe in school in November of 1966. And I want to draw your attention to just one line, because it is absolutely fascinating. In the introduction here, it says, nuclear war is possible. Continuing nuclear weapon development by potential enemies, the Berlin and Cuban crises, and the Southeast Asia situation are dramatic reminders of the uneasy world in which we live. We must keep our defenses strong. That's what it says right up there in 1966. Growing up under the threat of nuclear war, I think I was 12 when I received this, because I have a birthday very late in the year. So I was probably wrapping up 6th grade. I'm not really sure, but here's the bomb shelter. See, everyone was talking about building one in their backyard. There's a little diagram. Something to think about on Super Bowl Sunday. Let's see. Should I recite a poem? I suppose I should. Let's do just 2 of the simple ones. Oh, no, let's just do one. So there was a man asleep on the street, and crowds were jabbering at his feet, and they were unaware that a silent death had strangled, killed, and left him lying there on spit-covered stories about people like themselves, dried up, broken, empty wells. There you go. I've also been told that if you're selling all the time on social media, it doesn't help the algorithm. But this is a Super Bowl spot. I think I'll adjust my tie there. It's the was button. You too can own one of these, you know. Come to my show on 4/20/2024 at, Big Trouble, and maybe you could get one of these. Anyway, when you're watching, maybe you're watching now and it's commercial break, so dip in. I've got a commercial before the show, in the middle of the show, when, just before halftime, before Usher, and then after the show, which reminds me of another story that I wanted to tell you. So, Usher. I was an usher once. In 1972, I was at Eastern Michigan University, and because I was fascinated with showbiz, I volunteered to work concerts that we had, and we had some fabulous concerts. People that came to Eastern Michigan University, Uriah Heep, Seals and Crofts, Chuck Berry, a lot of cool things, and some edgy things too, like Flo and Eddie, and blah, 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 blah. Although Flo and Eddie are kind of fun too. But anyway, one of the first shows that I worked is that I helped load in, helped set up, and then ushered that evening. Was a fantastic show, really, with Chris Christopherson and Rita Coolidge and band. So that was my first experience with Usher. So when I heard that Usher was playing during the halftime show at the Super Bowl, I was quite intrigued, and it brought back a flood of memories, right? So anyway, happy happy, happy bread and circus day to you. See you later.